Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 4 of Lancer Learning. This week, we are going to go over the topic of what does this mean? Professional literacy. And to break that down a little bit, what we're going to be discussing this week is a lot about the scientific method, research, and understanding the information that is in empirical articles. You have a little bit of a taste of that from last week, but now we're getting into the nitty gritty of understanding what those empirical articles mean and getting more in detail about research experiments. So, for week 4 learning objectives, by the end of this week, we're going to be, we hope that you're going to be more familiar with the following things. 1, prepare a response about the scientific based myths and factual information. This is going to come through for Dr. Malakar's activity for the week, as well as the discussion board assignment for the week. Number 2 is interpret and critically evaluate reading material. This is going to come through with the discussion board assignment as well as the writing assignment for the week. And number 3 is to assess and organize important information from an empirical source. And this is going to be mostly coming from the writing assignment for this week. The tech tip for this week, just the FYI useful information, Kennelie is going to be discussing the Grammarly app. If you haven't checked this out before, definitely explore it. It's really useful for writing assignments. The activity for the week is entitled The Scientific Method. It is graded work. You can receive a score of 1 or 0, and it's due by Saturday night by 11:59 p.m. Dr. Malakar is going to go over the scientific method with you, as well as have you conduct your own potato pendulum experiment. This is super fun and get you a little bit of a taste of what experiments are like. You're going to be using the Google Sheet for your data record information, so to produce the actual numbers. And for submitting your work for the week for the graded portion, you're going to be using this Google form. So make sure you use that appropriately to enter in the information that you received to receive the score for this assignment. And then an optional useful YouTube video about the scientific method could be helpful for a lot of different components of the assignments for this week, and it's very much related to the activity. All right. Let's go on to the discussion board for the week. This is also graded work. You can score a 0 or a 1. You have your initial post, as always, due by Wednesdays at 11:59 p.m. and your peer posts are always due by Friday at 11:59 p.m. What we're going to be exploring here are the difference between myths and facts. So Dr. Malakar and I have identified 3 websites that we frequently use in our classes to talk about myths in different areas of science. And so what we would like you to do is explore those 3 different websites. They're from different academic disciplines, so whatever you're interested in, you can explore. Review them, identify that nobody else in your group has selected the one that you're most interested in, and then decide on the one that you're going to be using for your individual post. So when you're writing your initial discussion post, you're going to identify what the myth is, and you're going to summarize what that myth is. Why do people actually believe this myth? Don't just copy and paste, write in your own words why people typically believe it or why you think people believe it. For the next part, you're going to summarize then the facts that completely or partially debunk the myth. So give us the evidence. Give us the actual information that debunks this myth. Provide the links or references that you're using to use as a fact checker. Don't just use information that you know from your own life experiences. Use evidence to support your statements. For the peer discussion post that's due on Friday by 11:59 p.m., you're going to respond to 2 of your peers about their myth that they selected and what has been your experience with the myth. Did you originally believe it and then they helped you understand why it wasn't true? And make sure that you're explaining information in these posts. The more you explain, the more myself, Dr. Malakar, and your TA can help understand your knowledge on the topic. Last thing for this week is the writing assignment. This is the title of the writing assignment is Deeper Look at Research, and this is graded work as well. You could receive a 0, 1, or 2. For this, there are a couple different things to note that we have that you might need to download. This is due by Saturday by 11:59 p.m. And if you remember from week 3, we had you find an article, and that was the point of the assignment for that week, was finding the article and giving us some information about it. This week we're giving you the article, but we want you to go really, really deep into the topic to really understand what that article is all about. So we're going to get very comfortable with reading empirical research and moving forward. So the first thing that we want you to do, this number 1, is we want you to download this PDF file here. This is an article about reading a research report. So it's no evidence in here. This article is about how you go about reading a research report. Very important and useful information in here. Save this for your other classes as well throughout your time here at Worcester State. I use this article in all of my classes to help students understand how to read a research article. For number 2, what you're going to do is you're going to identify one article that you want to do. You don't have to read all 4 of them. Pick one. Each of them are slightly different academic disciplines that you might be interested more in. So explore each one, then pick one that you're really going to read and go into depth with. So then for number 4 here, I have just download it. If you can print it. Sometimes it's easier to read whenever it's printed, and you can write on it, highlight it, whatever you need to do. And then number 4 is where you're starting to write up your information for the writing assignment. So we have specific questions that we want you to go through here. What is the topic of the article? What did you learn from the introduction section? What is the research question and hypotheses? What did you learn from the method section? What did you learn from the results section? What did you learn from the discussion section? What kind of ideas did this article make you think about? So if you're listening to this video right now and you're saying, what is a method section? This article up here is going to help you out with that. So make sure you're looking over that article first before you read the one that you're going to really go into depth with for this assignment. Number 5 is you're going to take your information from above and you're going to integrate this into 3 to 4 summary paragraphs. This should be approximately 1.5 to 2 pages long, double spaced, and we want you to integrate it into a fluid, understandable report of what the article was about. We want to make sure that you're not plagiarizing at any times. You want to paraphrase information. Try not to use quotes. You want to paraphrase the information that's being shared throughout to provide a clear summary to the general audience. So keep those tips in mind. Make sure you reread your summary information. Use Grammarly, that tech tip for the week. Use that to help you and reread and edit any information that you need to. The first time I write anything up, I always have to edit it over and over again. The first time is never going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's part of the writing process. So we're going to get you comfortable with that a little bit more. Once you're done everything, you're going to submit the writing assignment. You don't need to submit the article this time. Your TAs all have all of the articles. And remember, only one article review. Let us know if you have any questions. Have a great week. In the middle of this week will actually be the half point of the class. So awesome job. Keep up this great work, and you're getting so well prepared for your first semester at Worcester State. See you later.